Black boy kicked out of dealership next day. His billionaire mom arrives in a Rolls-Royce. The air was thick with the scent of polished leather and new tires as Jamal Carter, a lanky 17-year-old with a quiet intensity, stepped into the sterling luxury dealership. His sneakers squeaked faintly on the marble floor, drawing sharp glances from the staff. Jamal's dark skin stood out against the gleaming chrome of the cars, and he felt the weight of every stare. He wasn't here to buy, not yet. He was here to dream, to sketch the sleek lines of a Bentley for his art portfolio, a project he hoped would earn him a scholarship to Pratt Institute. But dreams weren't welcome here. Within minutes, the manager, a man named Victor Hargrove with a smile as oily as his hair, approached. "Kid, this isn't a playground," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "You're making my customers nervous." Jamal's jaw tightened. He explained his art project, holding up his sketchpad, but Victor's eyes flicked to the security guards. "Out, now," he barked. The guards grabbed Jamal's arms, dragging him toward the glass doors as onlookers whispered. "I didn't do anything," Jamal shouted, his voice cracking with fury and humiliation. The doors slammed behind him, and he stood on the sidewalk, chest heaving, the sting of rejection burning deeper than he'd ever felt. That night, Jamal sat in his small bedroom in Oakland, sketching furiously. His mother, Aisha Carter, knocked softly. Aisha was a single mom who worked long hours as a nurse, or so Jamal thought. Her warm eyes searched his face. "What happened, baby?" she asked. Jamal spilled it all, the words tumbling out. The stares, the accusations, the hands on his arms. Aisha's face hardened, but she hugged him tightly. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "we're going back." The next morning, the dealership buzzed with its usual rhythm until a Rolls-Royce Phantom purred into the lot. Heads turned. The driver's door opened, and Aisha stepped out, her tailored suit catching the light. She was regal, commanding, every inch a woman who owned the room before entering it. Jamal followed, his sketchpad tucked under his arm, his chin high. The staff froze. Victor rushed forward, his smile now servile. "Ma'am, welcome to Sterling Luxury. How can I?" Aisha raised a hand, silencing him. "You humiliated my son yesterday," she said, her voice low but slicing. "You judged him by his skin, his clothes, and threw him out like trash." Victor stammered, his face paling. The crowd grew, phones recording. "Two didn't know he was your son, Ms. Carter," he managed. Aisha's eyes narrowed. "You shouldn't need to know who I am to treat a black boy with respect." The twist came then, unexpected and sharp. A soft voice piped up from the crowd. "He did the same to me." A young white woman, barely 20, stepped forward, her hands trembling. Her name was Ellie, a part-time cashier who'd come to the dealership a month ago to inquire about a used car. Victor had dismissed her too, calling her a waste of time for her thrift store clothes. The crowd murmured. Ellie's courage sparked another voice, a Latino man who'd been ignored for looking like a mechanic. The stories poured out, a chorus of indignities, all tied to Victor's prejudice. Aisha turned to Jamal. "This isn't just about us anymore," she whispered. She faced Victor again. "I'm Aisha Carter, CEO of Carter Tech, worth $2 billion. I could buy this dealership and fire you today, but I won't." Victor's relief was short-lived. Instead, Aisha continued, "I'm funding a community program to teach kids like my son and Ellie, and other show to demand respect, how to rise above people like you." The crowd erupted in cheers. Jamal's eyes shone with pride, his sketchpad clutched tightly. But the story didn't end there. Aisha's wealth wasn't just a plot device. It was a secret she'd kept from Jamal to protect him from the pressures of her world. She'd built Carter Tech from nothing, a black woman in a tech industry that rarely opened its doors to her. Her success was a shield, but she'd wanted Jamal to grow up grounded, to fight his own battles. Yesterday's humiliation had forced her hand. "I didn't want you to know yet," she told him later, in the quiet of their home. "But you're stronger than I ever was at your age." Jamal's art took on new life after that day. His sketches of the Bentley, now layered with the raw emotion of his experience, won him the Pratt Scholarship. But more than that, he became a voice in Aisha's program, mentoring kids who'd faced the same rejection he had. Ellie joined, too, her quiet courage blooming into advocacy. The dealership, under new management after Victor's swift exit, became a reluctant symbol of change, hosting community events to rebuild trust. The confrontation at Sterling Luxury wasn't just a moment. It was a spark. It exposed the ugly underbelly of prejudice, not just racial, but economic, social, universal. Aisha's wealth could open doors, but it was Jamal's resilience, Ellie's bravery, and the community's collective voice that kept them open. The Rolls-Royce was a headline, but the real story was the boy who refused to let a closed door define him. In the end, the beauty of the story wasn't just the triumph, it was the humanity. Jamal and Aisha didn't seek revenge. They sought justice, not for themselves alone, but for everyone who'd ever been judged and discarded. Their victory was a reminder that change begins with a single voice, a single stand, a single sketchpad held high. What do you think? Where do we draw the line between justice and revenge in stories like this? Share your thoughts.